Welcome back, everybody. So today we're on our 49 Chevy. We're going to do something that you've been asking for. This is going to be quick, down and dirty, and I'm going to show you how to properly repair a pretty gnarly scratch. That's right, we're on our 1949 Chevy today. If you follow along with the channel at all, you've probably seen this truck. We built it about 16 years ago. The owner ran the show circuit with it. He brought it back and he said, hey, I think I'm ready to go to the next level. So we originally had it on an S10 chassis, just a nice, well-built truck, and then we put it on a roaster shop chassis, upgraded a ton of things, did some modifications to the exterior, built the split bumper rear end, redid the interior, and just kind of updated this truck a little bit. So we had it at SEMA this past November, and if you guys know anything about SEMA, there's a lot of foot traffic going through there. These aren't barricaded off, so you can walk right up to them and check them out. And I guess we had somebody walk up, maybe with their SEMA badge or something, and put a pretty gnarly scratch in it. I mean, you can dig it with your fingernail. So I figured this is a good time to show you guys how to repair that. You've asked me a lot about it. You don't really want to paint on your truck, so we're going to go through a few key factors that'll let you know you can do it, and I'll show you every step of the way. So there's our scratch right there, pretty deep. You can catch it with your nail, which really isn't good, but I'm going to show you how to get this out pretty quick. Well, this being black, it's a little harder to see, but once we sand it, it's going to show up a little more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start light first. We've got a piece of Endasa 2000 grit. We're going to wet this down, sand over it. This is kind of one of those areas, and you really need to know your area. We could probably get away with not using a block here. We do have a little bit of a flat surface, and what I'd prefer to do is use a block because we're able to actually level this spot out as opposed to hand sanding and just kind of cutting a groove in that. So a little bit of water. I'm just going to lightly sand this. So you can see just a little bit with that 2000 grit. It's gone except for just a little bitty spot right there. All right, just about a minute's time, we've got that sanded out, so that's looking really good. If you followed last week's video where we're painting over the chrome, I did a little segment on high solids clear coat just because I'd had some videos popping up on my social media with some of these more inexpensive paint jobs and kind of going over like how you didn't need a good quality clear, which totally disagree with. But you guys commented, a couple of people down below on that last video, and I just kind of looked them up, and yeah, I was kind of blown away by some of that. Very inexpensive paint jobs, $500–600 type of thing, which they're catering to a totally different market there. But we're very negative toward the restoration world, and I've got to say a lot of things I saw was totally wrong because all I've done is study this stuff for 20-something years and actually have been fortunate enough to know the people and the companies that actually produce it, and I know the materials that are in these clear coats. So I'm saying that because this scratch that we just sanded out, this cab's been painted for 15 years. We've never repainted over the top of this. This had roughly 5–6 coats of clear back then, was knocked down with 600 grit all the way to 5,000 grit, which typically takes about a coat off. So we're still sitting here with 4 or 5 coats of clear. So when we get a nasty scratch like that, we were able to cut that out with no problem at all and not having to be scared if we were going to burn through it. Some of those videos of the guys you sent that I looked up are saying that anything over 2 coats of clear, 3 coats of clear is totally wrong. You can't do it. It won't last or whatever. Well, this is 15, 16 years, and we're still able to cut a nasty scratch out of it and still had plenty of clear there to work with. If we would have applied 2 coats of clear to this like they were saying to do, we would not have been able to sand this scratch out, and we would be looking at repainting this. And the proper way to repaint this would be getting the bed off of it, reshooting the cab, or finding a breaking point in a body line somewhere and having to reshoot the whole thing, recut and buff it, which makes no sense at all. So you can see how well it lasts with a good high solids clear, really good resins in there, good UV protection. When you go to the lower lines of those where you're doing that $80 a gallon clear high solids, it still doesn't have the thickness of the better clears and it doesn't have the good resins in it. So we would be in a mess right now if we were doing like what some of those guys are saying. Now for what they're doing, I guess that's totally fine for them. We're catering to a totally different market, and this is what we know lasts because we've got 22 years of painting cars. We still see those cars occasionally when they come in for a service or maybe a cleanup for that show season, and they still look the way they did 22 years ago. So I noticed the one guy was saying like how stupid it was because of the expense it costs for us to paint something. Well, you got to imagine 22 years ago, we're stripping something down to metal finishing everything, body working it, priming it, blocking it, getting it laser straight, laying that body in paint. Yeah, it's a high expense in the restoration world. That's 22 years that we've gotten out of these so far, which I would expect we're going to get another 10, 20, 30 years if they're taken care of. So the amount of money you spent for what you get, man, is well worth it, as opposed to spending $500 on a paint job and then you're painting it again next year and next year and next year and next year until eventually you're having to strip it because you've got too much buildup on it. It's cracking, it's peeling, it's doing a lot of weird stuff. And then, you know, stripping it down to metal and starting with a good foundation, guys, you're never going to have to worry about it. So if you're doing this, definitely use good quality products. Take your time and get a good thickness in your clear coat. And like this, we're not going to have to worry about it. We've got another scratch up front too. We're going to go ahead and buff this one out, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. We'll have this thing shined up in no time. All right, so we've got our Griot's buffer. We've got Griot's correcting cream. We've got a knitted wool pad on here. Cuts really nice. Get a little bit of compound on here. I've got the buffer on about 5. We may turn down to about 4, but looks great. All right, so that's completely gone. All I would do next is hop over to the orange foam pad and then hit that with some finishing cream, and that would be it. So now that we've got that scratch removed, all that's taken care of, what about orange peel? So when we're doing something like a body, it gets pretty aggressive. We'll start at like 600 grit, we'll sand it down, we'll step that all the way up to 3,000 or 5,000 grit. It is quite a process. But when you've got a small part like this, which this is what we painted a couple of weeks ago, this was chrome. We prepped it all up and got it body color. Now, one thing with this is typically, if you can lay it down and spray it, you're gonna get a much slicker surface. We sprayed this hanging up, so we've got just a little bit of tight orange peel in here. So I'm gonna show you how to knock that down, make that show quality, look like $1,000,000. Now, since this is already nice, straight, and flat, and it's a very small piece, we don't necessarily have to worry about using a block because we've got a lot of peaks and we don't want to burn through. So we can lightly wet sand this down with 2,000 grit and watch how great this ends up looking. So now that we've got that slicked out, we're going to use the Griot's Garage correcting cream. Now this isn't their heavy cut, but this is great for cutting out 2,000 grit scratches, and we're going to use the air buffer for this. Going to make really quick work of it. So one key point to this, if you're using a buffer like this or a big rotary buffer and you're buffing a piece or like a door or anything, you want to make sure that you pay attention to the direction that it spins and to spin off of the edge. So where people end up messing up is if it's spinning this way, but you're spinning in against that edge, you're going to burn that paint off. You're going to end up having to repaint your piece. So just make sure that you're spinning off your edges. So we got that knocked out really quick. Just make sure you're using good products. That's really going to go a long way. That's going to help to cut out those sand scratches you made really quickly. And we really appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It does not cost you a thing, and you won't believe how much it helps us. We can continue to bring you these. Hey, drop a comment below. Let me know what you're working on, or if there's anything maybe you want to see that I can show you here. I'm happy to do a video on that. So we really appreciate you guys watching. This thing is all cleaned up and it's headed out to Pittsburgh because it's going for truck of the year. So fingers crossed that we get it. See you guys next time. Looks great.